Senators will take their seats. All persons not entitled to the privilege of the floor will please be seated in the gallery. The Senate will come to order. The session will be open with prayer. Prayer will be offered by the Chaplain of the Senate, the Honorable Megan Martin, Secretary of the Senate. Please rise.
Let us pray. Lord, in these trying times, please show us the way. Let those who are sick be healed. Let those who suffer find comfort. Guide us as we work together here today to help all of our fellow Pennsylvanians who are in need. In your name we pray. Amen.
Please remain standing and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. The chair thanks Secretary Martin. The next order of business is communications. Communications from the President pro tempore.
Consistent with recess motion made on April 15, 2020, the Senate is recalled for a voting session on Monday, April 20th, 2020, 1 p.m.
The chair lays before the Senate bills numbered, referred as follows, which a clerk will read.
Thursday, April 16th, Senate Bill 1117, referred to Community Economic and Recreational Development. Friday, April 17th, Senate Bill 1105, referred to Labor and Industry. Senate Bill 1116, referred to Community Economic and Recreational Development. Senate Bill 1119, referred to Judiciary. Senate Bill 1120, referred to Judiciary. Senate Bill 1121, referred to Consumer Protection and Professional Licensure. Senate Bill 1222, referred to Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness. Monday, April 20th. Senate Bill 1123, referred to Health and Human Services. And Senate Bill 1124, referred to Health and Human Services.
The chair lays before the Senate House bills entitled, numbered, and referred as follows, which the clerk will read.
Clerk of the House of Representatives, having communicated and presented for concurrence the following bills, numbered and entitled as follows, which were referred to the following committees. Monday, April 20th, House Bill 2233, referred to Transportation.
The President pro tempore has made the following appointments: Scott Sikorsky to the Governing Board of the Pennsylvania Convention Center Authority and Donald Wagner as a member of the Cleanup Standard Scientific Advisory Board. Next order of business, reports of committee. From Senator Baker, Judiciary Committee. Senate bills reported as committed. Senate Bill 1119, Senate Bill 1120. House bills reported as amended. House Bill 360. Next order of business is leaves of absence. The chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request capital leave for Senator Mastriano.
For leaves of absence, the chair recognizes Senator Costa.
No leaves, Mr. President. Thank you.
Senator Corman requests capital leave for Senator Mastriano. Without objection, the leaves will be granted. The Journal of February 4th, 2020 is now in print. The clerk will proceed to read the Journal.
Senate convened Tuesday, February 4th.
Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that we dispense with further reading the Journal. The Journal be approved.
Senator Corman moves that further reading of the journals be dispensed with and the journals be approved. On the motion, the clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Aye.
Aye. Almond.
Aye.
Aye. Baker.
Aye.
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 Aye. Bartolotta.
Aye.
Aye. Blake. Aye. Boscola. Aye. Brewster.
Aye.
Aye. Brooks.
Aye.
Aye. Brown. Aye. Collette. Aye. Corman. Aye. Costa. Aye. Dinniman.
Aye.
Aye. DeSanto. Aye. Farnese.
Aye.
Aye. Fontana.
Aye.
Aye. Gordner. Aye. Haywood.
Aye.
Aye. Hughes.
Aye.
Aye. Hutchinson.
Aye.
Aye. Ivino.
Aye.
Aye. Carney. Aye.
Aye.
Killian. Aye. Langerholtz. Aye. Laughlin. Aye. Leach.
Aye.
Aye. Martin. Aye. Mastriano. Aye. Mensch.
Aye.
Aye. Muth.
Aye.
Aye. Phillips-Hill. Aye. Pittman. Aye. Regan. Aye. Sabatina.
Aye.
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 Sanacero.
Aye.
Aye. Scavello. Aye. Schwank.
Aye.
Aye. Stefano. Aye. Street.
Aye.
Aye. Tartaglione.
Aye.
Aye. Tomlinson.
Aye.
Aye. Vogel.
Aye.
Aye. Ward Judy. Aye. Ward Kim. Aye. Williams Anthony H.
Aye.
Aye. Williams Lindsay.
Aye.
Aye. Y'all.
Aye.
Aye. Udicek.
Aye.
Aye. Scarnati. Aye.
The vote on the motion, ayes 50, nays 0. The motion is carried and the journal is approved. For announcement, Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request a recess of the Senate, first for purpose of a set of off-the-floor committee meetings to be held here on the Senate floor, starting with the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, followed by Health and Human Services Committee, followed by a Senate Republican caucus to be held on Zoom.
Senator Corman has asked for a recess of the Senate for a Veteran Affairs Committee meeting, followed by a Health and Human Services Committee meeting, followed by a Republican caucus. Senate is in recess. Time of recess having expired, the Senate will come to order. The Chair wishes to note Senator Mastriano has returned from leave. The next order of business is consideration of today's calendar. The first bill on today's calendar is House Bill 64. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 64 and the remaining bills on page 1 of our calendar go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 64 and the remaining bills on page 1 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 417. The chair recognizes Senator Martin for an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to offer the amendment A04626 and ask for its immediate consideration.
Senator Martin offers the following amendment and moves its immediate adoption. Clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment number A, 4626.
On the amendment, will the Senate agree to the amendment? Agreed to. This bill will go over in its order as amended. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 462. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. This bill has been considered on 3 different days in open Senate. It is now before the Senate for final passage. The question is, will the Senate finally pass the bill? On the bill, Chair recognizes Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I waive off at this time.
Would the gentlelady please hold? Senate, go at ease. Chair recognizes Senator Costa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I respectfully move that we reconsider the movement of this bill to third consideration in order to allow Senator Lindsey Williams to offer an amendment.
Senator Costa moves that the Senate reconsider the vote by which Senate Bill 462 has been considered. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. And the ayes have it, the question recurs. Will the Senate agree to the bill? On the bill, the chair recognizes Senator Phillips-Hill. The chair recognizes Senator Williams for an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to offer Amendment A04837 to Senate Bill 462 and ask for its immediate adoption.
Senator Williams offers the following amendment and moves its immediate adoption. The clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment number A, 4837.
On the amendment, the clerk will call the roll.
Wait up, Rob.
But I'd like to
On the amendment, Senator Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. This amendment would prevent the Medical Education Loan Assistance Program from being repealed from the school code. The Medical Education Loan Assistance Program specifically provides for a loan forgiveness program for nurses. Nursing applicants statewide are eligible for the state to forgive 50% of their student loan not to exceed $50,000 if the student enters into a contract that upon successful completion of an approved nursing program and licensure as a registered nurse to practice nursing in this Commonwealth for a period of not less than 3 consecutive years, the student's loans will then be forgiven over a period of 3 years. The Medical Education Loan Assistance Program was originally passed to address a growing nursing shortage that was negatively affecting our healthcare delivery system here in Pennsylvania. A number of my colleagues who are here today on both sides of the aisle voted in favor of this program originally. Current law states that FIA is required to administer this program. However, it was discontinued in 2007 due to a lack of funding and a survey conducted by the FIA board amongst hospitals that indicated they did not have a nursing shortage at the time. However, that is no longer true. We have nursing shortages across Pennsylvania at hospitals, nursing homes, and home health care. This program still has a purpose. In fact, one of my first activities as a new senator in January 2019 was cutting the ribbon at a brand new nursing school, the Citizen School of Nursing in my district. Chancellor Greenstein testified at the Higher Education Funding Commission meeting on February 6th that by 2025, Pennsylvania is looking at a shortage of 34,000 nurses. I was referred to a program called the Primary Care Practitioners Loan Repayment Program as an additional reason why we didn't need the Medical Education Loan Assistance Program. The Primary Care Repayment Program is a good program, but it only covers nurse practitioners, nurse midwives, and physician assistants in medically underserved area. It does not cover registered nurses, it's not statewide, and it forgives only $40,000 over 4 years. We are in the middle of a pandemic where countless Pennsylvania nurses are putting their lives on the line to keep us safe. We should be working to fund the Medical Education Loan Assistance Program, not repeal it. I have yet to hear a good enough reason to cut this program right now. This loan assistance program should be part of the budget discussions this year. We need to make it easier for Pennsylvanians to become nurses so they can take care of all of us. I ask that my colleagues vote in favor of this amendment. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair thanks the senator. Further on the amendment, the chair recognizes Senator Phillips-Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, the Medical Education Loan Assistance Program was terminated in 2007, and the program still exists as the Primary Care Loan Repayment Program under the Department of Health. The line item in the Department of Health is the Primary Health Care Practitioner Program, which is funded at $4.5 million. $2.5 million of that funding goes to the Primary Care Loan Repayment Program that offers funding for education loan payments to primary care clinicians practicing in underserved communities. The program acts as a financial incentive for the recruitment and retention of physicians, dentists, behavioral health professionals, and other primary care clinicians in areas that lack access to primary care. For a few years, FIA transferred funding to the Department of Health for the program from their earnings. However, that no longer occurs. The program, as of the current budget, is now funded solely through the general fund, as FIA's earnings have significantly decreased. I would respectfully submit to the gentlelady from Allegheny County that a better course of action would be to work with the Department of Health to include nurses who are very essential in providing health care to the Commonwealth in their existing and already funded program. And I would respectfully ask my colleagues for a negative vote on the amendment. Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair thanks the senator. Further on the amendment. Clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
No.
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 Arnold.
No.
No. Almond.
No.
No. Baker.
No.
No. Bartolotta.
No.
No. Blake. Aye. Boscola.
Aye.
Aye. Brewster. Brewster. Brooks.
No.
No. Brown. No. Collette.
Aye.
Aye. Corman. No. Costa. Aye. Dinneman.
Aye.
Aye. DeSanto. No. Farnese.
Aye.
Aye. Fontana.
Aye.
Aye. Gordner. No. Haywood.
Aye.
Aye. Hughes.
Aye.
Aye. Hutchinson.
No.
No. Ivino.
Aye.
Aye. Carney.
Aye.
Aye. Killian. No. Langerholtz. No. Laughlin. No. Leach.
Aye.
Aye. Martin. Aye. Mastriano. No. Mensch.
No.
No. Muth.
No. I mean, yes, I'm sorry, yes, yes.
Booth. Aye. Phillips-Hill. No. Pittman. No. Regan. No. Sabatina.
Aye.
Aye. Senacero.
Aye.
Aye. Scavello. No. Schwank.
Aye.
Aye. Stefano. No. Street.
Aye.
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 Tartaglione.
Aye.
Aye. Tomlinson.
No.
No. Vogel.
No.
No. Ward Judy. No. Ward Kim. No. Williams Anthony H.
Aye.
Aye. Williams Lindsay.
Aye.
Aye. Y'all.
No.
No. Udicek.
Aye.
Aye. Scarnati. No. Brewster. Brewster.
Aye.
Aye. Martin from aye to no.
The vote on the amendment, ayes 22, nays 28. The amendment, the noes have it, and the amendment fails. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. This bill has been considered on 3 different days in open Senate, is now before the Senate for final passage. Question is, will the Senate finally pass the bill? On the bill, clerk will call the roll.
Arnold. Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Aye.
Aye. Almond.
Aye.
Aye. Baker.
Aye.
Aye. Bartolotta.
Aye.
Aye. Blake.
Nope.
No. Boscola.
Aye.
Aye. Brewster.
Aye.
Brewster. Aye. Brooks.
Aye.
Brooks. Aye. Brown. Aye. Collette.
Aye.
Aye. Corman. Aye. Costa. Aye. Dinneman.
Aye.
Aye. DeSanto. Aye. Farnese.
No.
No. Fontana.
Aye.
Aye. Gordner. Aye. Haywood.
Aye.
Aye. Hughes. Hughes.
Aye.
Aye. Hutchinson.
Aye.
Aye. Iavino.
Aye.
Aye. Carney.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Aye. Killian. Aye. Langerholtz. Aye. Laughlin. Aye. Leach.
Aye.
Aye. Martin. Aye. Mastriano. Aye. Mensch.
Aye.
Aye. Muth.
No.
No. Phillips-Hill. Aye. Pittman. Aye. Regan. Aye. Sabatina.
Aye.
Aye. Senacero.
Aye.
Aye. Scavello. Aye. Schwank.
Aye.
Aye. Stefano. Aye. Street.
Nope.
No. Tartaglione.
Aye.
Aye. Tomlinson.
Aye.
Aye. Vogel.
Aye.
Aye. Ward Judy. Aye. Ward Kim. Aye. Williams Anthony H.
No.
No. Williams Lindsay.
No.
No. Y'all.
Aye.
Aye. Udicek.
Aye.
Aye. Scarnati. Aye. Costa from aye to no.
The vote on final passage, ayes 43 and nays 7. This bill has been passed by the Senate and will be sent to the House of Representatives for its concurrence. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 494. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, move that Senate Bill 494 be laid upon the table.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 494 be laid upon the table. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 494 be taken from the table and placed upon the active calendar.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 494 be taken off the table and placed on the active calendar. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 679. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that Senate Bill 679 go over in its order.
Senator Corman requests that Senate Bill 679 go over in its order. Without objection, the bill will go over in its order. Next bill on the calendar is Senate Bill 693. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 693 be laid upon the table.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 693 be laid upon table. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 693 be taken from the table and placed upon the active calendar.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 693 be taken off the table and placed on the active calendar. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill on the calendar is House Bill 716. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 716 go over in its order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 716 go over in its order. Without objection, the bill will go over in its order. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 752. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. This bill has been considered on 3 different days in open Senate. It's now before the Senate for final passage. The question is, will the Senate finally pass this bill? On the bill, clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Aye.
Aye. Almond.
Would the clerk proceed with a fast roll call?
Gardner Pittman Street.
Vote on final passage is ayes 50, nays 0. This bill will be returned to the House of Representatives with the information that the Senate has passed the same without amendment. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 798. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 798 be laid upon the table.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 798 be laid upon the table. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 788 be taken from the table and placed upon the active calendar.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 798 be taken off the table and placed on the calendar. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1027. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. This bill has been considered on 3 different days in open Senate. It's now before the Senate for final passage. The question is, will the Senate finally pass this bill? On the bill, clerk will call the roll.
Argel.
Aye.
Aye. Arnold.
Are there any negative votes? Any negative votes? Clerk, proceed to the fast roll call.
Gardner Martin Street.
Vote on final passage. Ayes 50, nays 0. This bill has been passed by the Senate and will be sent to the House of Representatives for its concurrence. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 1045. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 1045 on page 3 of our calendar, as well as all the bills on page 4 of our calendar, and the first 2 bills down to including House Bill 1522 on page 5 of our calendar, go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 1045 on page 3 of today's calendar through and including House Bill 1522 on page 5 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 1907. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 1869. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 1869 go over in its order temporarily.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 1869 go over temporarily. Without objection, the bill will go over temporarily. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 1907. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 1907 and the remaining bills on page 5 of our calendar, as well as all the bills on page 6 of our calendar, and the first 2 bills down to including Senate Bill 995 on page 7 of our calendar, go over in their order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 1907 on page 5 of today's calendar through and including Senate Bill 995 on page 7 of today's calendar go over in their order. Without objection, the bills will go over in their order. Next bill on today's calendar is Senate Bill 1108. Will the Senate agree to the bill? Agreed to. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that Senate Bill 1108 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Senator Corman moves that Senate Bill 1108 be re-referred to the Committee on Appropriations. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Next bill is House Bill 1174. Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I request that House Bill 1174 go over in its order.
Senator Corman requests that House Bill 1174 go over in this order. Without objection, the bill will go over in this order.
Mr. President,
Senator Corman.
can we be at ease?
Senate will be at ease. Time of recess having expired, the Senate will come to order. For a motion of reconsideration, the chair recognizes Senator Costa.
No, no, thank you. Nope.
Yes. Okay. The motion for reconsideration will not be offered. Back to the calendar. The chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, as a special order of business, I'd like to return to page 5 of our calendar and call House Bill 1869, ask for its consideration.
As a special order of business, Senator Corman calls up House Bill 1869 on page 5 of today's calendar. And for an amendment, the chair recognizes Senator Regan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to offer Amendment 05124 to House Bill 1869.
Senator Regan offers the following amendment and moves its immediate adoption. The clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment number A, 5124.
On the amendment, Senator Regan.
Thank you, Mr. President. This amendment mirrors the Heart and Lung Act provisions that the House unanimously passed as part of House Bill 1189 and is similar to Senate Bill 1106, which the Senate Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee and Senate Appropriations unanimously reported the last 2 weeks. Simply put, this legislation would ensure that all law enforcement officers, along with other first responders, are covered under the Pennsylvania Heart and Lung Act, should they have to take time off due to either contracting, being tested for, or quarantined due to COVID-19. The language provides a sense of protection for those who are protecting us amid this chaos. I ask for an affirmative vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair thanks gentlemen. On the amendment, will the Senate agree to the amendment? Agreed to. Further amendment, the chair recognizes Senator Muth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to offer Amendment A05178 and to ask for its immediate adoption.
Senator Muth offers the following amendment and moves its immediate adoption. The clerk will read the amendment.
Amendment number A, 5178.
On the amendment, Senator Muth.
Thank you, Mr. President. This amendment applies to National Guard members who went on active duty because of the COVID-19 pandemic and resulting March 6 disaster declaration. This amendment provides emergency benefits for the Pennsylvania Guard members who are impacted by COVID-19 and are on in-state or non-federal deployment missions. In a domestic emergency, the Pennsylvania National Guard acts as the supporting entity to PEMA, and at least 532 members are on active duty as of April 8th, with 15 National Guard members and 6 family members testing positive for COVID-19. The Montgomery County testing facility as of April 8th was fully staffed by Pennsylvania Guard members. The Pennsylvania Guard members have also taken over food distribution and delivery for the Pittsburgh Food Bank. Members of the Pennsylvania Guard have also started providing support to long-term care facilities that are suffering from staff shortages due to the spread of COVID-19. Currently, members are on duty in Senate District 44, my district, at the Southeastern Veterans Center in East Vincent Township, Chester County. The Southeastern Veterans Center is one of 6 veteran homes in our Commonwealth. As of today, the Southeastern Veterans Center has 19 veterans who have tested positive, 12 veteran residents who have died from COVID-19, and 25 staff members who have tested positive as well. The PA Guard has been helping fill the gaps in staffing shortages and assist veteran residents with their needs. Currently, there are no state medical benefits or worker compensation to cover guardsmen who get sick while on state active duty. During this pandemic, we must protect our frontline workers. My amendment provides support to those in the National Guard that we are offering to other first responders working on the front lines. And I also want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge Senator Iovino, Democratic Chair of the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, for her help and guidance with this effort. I also want to thank Chairman Regan for his efforts in expanding the Heart and Lung Act, and would ask for his support on this amendment, and hope the same support is given by my colleagues from across the aisle in the House when the bill returns there for a vote on concurrence. I ask for an affirmative vote on this amendment. Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair thanks the senator. On the amendment, will the Senate agree to the amendment? Agreed to. The bill will go over in its order as amended. This completes the calendar. Next order of business, reports of committee. From Senator Brooks, the Health and Human Services Committee, Senate bills reported as committed, Senate Bill 273, and Senate bills reported as amended, Senate Bill 959, Senate Bill 1110. From Senator Regan, the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, Senate bills reported as committed, Senate Bill 1076, Senate Bill 1122. House bills reported as amended, House Bill 1838. Does the chair hear a motion that the Senate proceed to the consideration of all bills reported from committee for the first time at today's session? Senator Killian so moves. For the information of the members, the clerk will read the bill numbers.
Senate Bill 1119, Senate Bill 1120, Senate Bill 1076, Senate Bill 1122, Senate Bill 273, Senate Bill 959, Senate Bill 1110, House Bill 360, and House Bill 1838.
Will the Senate agree to the bills? Agreed to. Senator Corman. Okay. Next order of business, petitions and remonstrances. The chair recognizes Senator Judy Ward.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today to thank those individuals who attended the rally at the Capitol in Harrisburg today to have their voices heard. Thousands of people were in attendance to voice their support to get business back open and stop government overreach. I have so many people calling my office, as we all do, unable to file for unemployment, unable to pay their bills, and struggling to buy food. These folks want to go to work. They want to collect a paycheck, and they want to take care of their families. The governor announced today that on May 8th, he would allow some industries to reopen. That is simply too late. We need to get Pennsylvania back open. And that's why I have voted for legislation that would do just that, and will continue to stand in support of my constituents and their efforts to be heard. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair thanks the senator. The chair notes that Senator Tartaglione offers remarks for the record. We have communications from the governor.
Pursuant to Article 4, Section 15 of the Pennsylvania Constitution, I am returning herewithin Without my approval, Senate Bill 613, printers number 1636.
The bill under veto will be laid upon the table.
Mr. President,
For what purpose, gentlemen, rise?
may we return to the order of business, specifically to petitions, to allow my colleague Senator Vince Hughes to provide some petitions remarks?
Senator, as soon as we complete the reading across the desk, we'll go back to petitions.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair lays before the Senate House bills entitled, numbered, and referred as follows, which the clerk will read.
The Clerk of the House of Representatives, having communicated and presented for concurrence the following bills, numbered and entitled as follows, which were referred to the following committees. Monday, April 20th, House Bill 1189, referred to Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness.
Back to petitions. The chair recognizes Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm obligated to comment on what occurred in the state capitol today with respect to the demonstrators that were outside. We fully support everyone's right to demonstrate. Most important right that we have is the right of free speech. People should observe that. People should encourage that. People should recognize that. People should embrace that. What occurred today, Mr. President, was one of the worst examples, one of the most irresponsible examples of what can happen in this state, in this nation, as respect to the issue of public health. 250 to 300 people gathered today, Mr. President, in front of our Capitol. 95% of them had no masks on. 95% of them did not display social distancing that's been recommended not just by the governor, not just by Secretary Levine, but it has been recommended by the President of the United States of America. More than likely, Mr. President, these individuals infected one another with the coronavirus disease. More than likely, Mr. President, these individuals go back to their communities. I would assume most of them in rural communities. Many of these individuals will wind up in rural hospitals with the disease, with an illness, and many of these individuals will wind up infecting other people. We all want the state to open up. We all want the state's economy to open up. But you can bring back an economy, but you can't bring back someone who's sick or someone who dies from this disease or any other illness. You can't bring them back. We must lead with public health. We must create our policies around the health and safety and welfare of the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That must be the driving decision maker, protecting lives and protecting the people that saved those lives. But the irresponsible gathering today will only wind up hurting those individuals that the folks demonstrated that they claim that they care and love. Mr. President, it was a good day in some respects to allow people to speak their minds, speak their issues, speak their concern. But it was a bad day for the public health of the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And it was a bad day. It was a bad day for the public health of the people of this nation. These individuals who gathered in Harrisburg today, defying the wishes of the governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, defying the wishes of the President of the United States with respect to maintaining social distancing, not having gloves, not having masks, will only wind up hurting themselves and likely wind up hurting countless thousands of other individuals, unsuspecting and unknowing, because that's how this disease works. Mr. President, we're admonished by leaders up and down local, state, and national levels to follow certain rules and regulations. In fact, Mr. President, individuals walking around this chamber right now have masks on, have gloves on. We should require that. Testing should be available to everyone as we make the right and best decisions for all of the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Thank you, Mr. President.
The chair thanks the gentleman. The chair recognizes Senator Corman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Really briefly, when people gather to protest and to voice their opinions and voice their displeasure at times with their elected officials, it comes in all forms. And it comes at all risks, and it comes in different fashions. And today, people's frustrations at some point or another through this process, rightfully or wrongly. Every protest, everyone has an opinion. Sometimes people believe it's right to protest. Some people believe it's wrong. But whether you disagree or agree, the thing I think we all agree on is people's right to assemble and to voice their concerns to their elected leaders and to shout out why they think the governing body, the ruling body is incorrect in whatever issue of the day is. And I certainly, I know my colleague from Philadelphia knows that very well, and he's been a leader in areas of injustice and fighting wrongs, and this was a different day, and so I just want to say, at some point it's about personal responsibility. At some point people want to come out and voice their opinion, and they did that today. And whether they were told to do this or that, that's a beautiful freedom. Freedom allows you to come and assemble. And hundreds of people came, if not thousands, I'm not sure the count, came and assembled today and spoke their mind. And whether they listened to all the admonishments of the current governing body as far as health standards, it's their right. Their right to come and have their voices heard. They did that today. Hopefully, we all not only hear that, but we hear all the voices, and then we in this chamber and the chamber on the other side of the building come together and bring all those voices together to come up with some sort of path to move forward. Some sort of path that we can all move forward. We had some constructive conversations with the governor today. I think we passed some good bipartisan legislation today. It took us a few hours to get it all drawn up, but we came to agreement on a very, very important issue here today. And so, protests usually don't come in pretty packages. They come in sort of nasty, sort of ugly, sort of difficult packages. But that's the American democracy. That's the democracy to allow us to come and voice our opinion. And sometimes I agree with protests, sometimes I don't. But what I always agree with is their right to do it. And the people of Pennsylvania exercised that right today. Hopefully, they did so in a way that won't spread the virus, because that's obviously something we're all concerned about. But I'll certainly always applaud people's right to be heard, and that's what we saw out front today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Chair thanks the senator. Chair recognizes Senator Corman for motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that the Senate do now recess until Tuesday, April 21st, 2020 at 11 a.m. unless sooner recalled by the President pro tempore.
It has been moved by Senator Corman that the Senate do now recess until Tuesday, April 21st, 2020 at 11 a.m. or unless sooner recalled by the President pro tempore. On the motion, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the Senate stands in recess until Tuesday, April 21st, 2020 at 11 a.m. or sooner recalled by the President pro tempore.